Welcome to the ninth session of 12 management lessons from Bhagavad Gita, and very interesting one today. Very interesting one, uh, which is forgive to forget. So you have to give first to get something, and we'll see in today's session that across different slokas how Krishna is navigating this concept of giving. So our eligibility of getting something only becomes when we start giving. So if we forgive, then we can forget. And essentially, when we talk about uh, forgetting, we are not always saying that the incident you will not remember, but just that you will have the strength to bear with it. So, okay, we'll talk about it more. Let's start with the prayers. Again, like every time, we are everything that we speak or reference are from the book of knowledge, Bhagavad Gita Jatha Rup, or Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is based on ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and based on that, let us start with the prayers. Om Jnana Timirantasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshurvinitang Dena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadatmayam Dadati Sapadantikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So if all of you can are able to listen to me, my voice is loud and clear, there is no background noise. Can you just give a thumbs up so that I can know that yes, you can hear me properly? Okay, thank you. So very interesting topic. So have you ever heard like whenever we kind of hold on to in terms of being angry so tightly, so anger is like a burning coal in our hand, कोयला होता है ना. And Bhagavad Gita speaks to this universal human struggle, saying that forgiveness is the way that might surprise all of us, but Krishna reveals that forgiveness is actually about freeing ourselves from the chain of our own reactions. So, in this exploration of forgiveness through Bhagavad Gita, today we are going to discover how Lord Krishna guides Arjun and all of us beyond simple concepts of just being right or wrong. We'll see how forgiveness connects to karma, why holding grudges blocks our material and spiritual growth, and how true forgiveness starts with understanding our own nature. And this book of knowledge, actually Bhagavad Gita, gives us the doorway to inner peace. So from battlefield wisdom which Arjun was in, to everyday conflicts that all of us are into, these teachings will reveal forgiveness not as a weakness but as ultimate strength. And let's dive into letting something go and move forward. So we'll start with the first sloka. Like every time, I'm going to read the sloka, and I'll just request one volunteer to read the translation, some part of the translation, because it's today's starting sloka is about the act of forgiveness, which Krishna says it's not a forced act; it's a quality we have to inculcate. And this is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, sloka number 3 to be exact. but it's a combination of 1, 2, 3. But we'll read from, or I will chant from sloka number 3, which is this sloka, this particular sloka. Hope you are able to see the sloka on your screen. Otherwise, I can just increase the size like this. Okay. Okay. Let's kind of read the sloka. Teja Kṣamā Dhriti Shaucham Atraho Nati Manitaha Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Avijachascha Bharata. Okay. So what does it mean? What is Krishna saying in this? Let's read from here. Yeah. Can you just read this part of the translation? Can any one of you volunteer? Just raise your hand and let me unmute you. Please raise your hand. Please go ahead and raise your hand. Don't be shy. Okay, Govinda bro, please read this. Read this part. Yes. Prabhuji, please read.
Forgiveness, fortitude,
Vigor, forgiveness.
vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature.
So here we can see Krishna is mentioning about some of the qualities that we should acquire. So let's dive a little more in terms of he's specifically mentioning about the quality of forgiveness to start with. So what is this quality of forgiveness? So it is not merely like a social technique or a just external act of showing forgiveness. It is just naturally, if we are meditating or have a spiritual bent, and the source and this particular sloka actually describes, it's like the ocean quality, like like if there is a shallow water body, if you put a small stone also, it will get disturbed, right? Isn't it? But a vast ocean, you can put heavy chunks of like big stones, right? And still it doesn't get disturbed, right? It's just like some boop, like that sound, and then everything again calms down. It is thus a return of to our true self, like who we are, and the divine nature and the good nature that is often uh, obstructing us. And what does those things like dust which is obstructing us? Our anger and ego. And when we refuse to forgive, we are essentially uh, it's like swimming upstream against against a running river, and that leads to exhaustion, right? Every time, like I have some plans, okay, how to harm, मैं बदला लूंगा, okay, and we are so much facing exertion, anxiety, and we are suffering. There is a very nice story anecdote. So you think like you are a gardener who carefully is grooming a nice garden. Suddenly some people came and just destroyed, trampled, just walked over the nice garden. So there are two ways you will look at it, right? Or all of us would look at it. One is that, okay, we abandon the garden altogether and just obsess on the destruction that has happened. Kaun kiya, kyun kiya, why it is me, why have they done this, we get really angry, right? Or we start and use our wisdom and try to clear all the debris, and then again prepare the soil, put some new seeds. So this way the gardener, uh, this way like all of us, basically this gardener is all of us. It says like it is an example in terms of what we want to cultivate. If you want to cultivate peace, then that is what we are going to cultivate. If you want to cultivate peace for ourselves, forgiveness for ourselves, then that is how. So the flowers were crushed, and and looking at the destruction is like replaying that moment of violation, or that moment when it happened, and it makes us even more anxious, even more when we are not able to control. So so Bhagavad Gita says that we should not, or we should try rather, we should try to rebuild and not focus on what had happened. It is not to say that, not to pretend that debris, and to prepare the soil again and to plant the seeds, while holding the memory that what we have lost, and take some learnings from that. And Krishna says in this sloka that this is not an weakness, this is actually a strength. And Krishna mentions that this wisdom uh, is when we remain undisturbed, even with great sorrow, when we remain from great attachments, beyond anger, fear. So we can see from these examples that that Lord Krishna, when he delivered Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield, he never instructed Arjuna to like sit idle, become passive, or to just to surrender, right? Instead, he taught a very important lessons, like warriors, they were act and fight without hatred, being equal in victory and defeat. So forgiveness is an internal release, while the external action is guided by our duty or dharma. So a person's steady wisdom can be heard without being destroyed. And we can give an example from history as well. Here in Bengal, like all of us know, there's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was the he's known as Karuna Avatar, or he is the incarnation of Krishna, and he is very Karuna. He's always giving Kṣamā, forgiveness, associate of Chaitanya to uphold certain standards. So this proves that when we have compassion, does not necessarily mean that there are no firm boundaries. So we need to create boundaries and then also show compassion. So next we are going to talk about in terms of this sloka we have visited earlier as well, but I'll stick, and this is relevant to our discussion, so we'll just take it. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Okay, so this basically mentions like what happens when we get really angry, and so let me read the sloka. It's a very easy one. Krodhat bhavati sammohat smriti vibrama sriti brimashat buddhinaso buddhinashat pranashati. Okay. Um, may I request someone, any of you, to raise your hand to read this translation, please? Please go ahead and raise your hand. Quickly, please. Yes, Vijay Bro. Prabhu, please unmute yourself and please read the translation. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Uh, from anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
Okay. So let us understand what is being spoken here. So, so this is actually on the fact that if we don't forgive or unforgiveness, it poisons us more than the other person. Because as you can see, that all that anger, if you are holding on, right, this is mentioned, buddhi nasha. So holding a grudge is compared, uh, it's like a chain reaction actually. Like if we don't, if this is if the wound is like unforgiven wound, this acts like a fuel for a fire, and the host who has that unforgiveness wound as a wound, it affects that person more. And psychologically, this is a chain reaction that goes on. Discriminate which is right, what is wrong, it just vanishes. So I remember one of my cousin. She was staying in Mumbai, so she refused for some years to speak to uh, another sister of hers, primarily how to take care of their father's will. That was the point. Although she was technically right, her anger was justified, but it became a weed and choked her inner garden of peace. And every time there was a family festival means like their families were meeting, it felt hollow, so hollow to meet her, and her own life was also so miserable. So again we see that that here there is a example why we should let go. Now if we look at why why, as a psychological problem, like why we don't let go. What is stopping us, right? For that, we'll go to another sloka, another famous one. There are a lot of famous slokas today. Okay, so okay, I'll read the sloka and then request one of you as volunteering to read the translation. Okay. Prakite kriyama. This is chapter 3, sloka number 27. Prakite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasa ahankara vimuratma karta aham iti mannate. Yes. Translation. Any volunteers? Yes. Avishek Crow, please read.
Hare Krishna. The spirit soul, influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Okay. So, why do we feel like the way that we are not able to forgive? Because we think we are the proprietor. हम लोग कर रहे हैं, मैं कर रहा हूँ, हम लोग भी नहीं, मैं कर रहा हूँ. So the ego, ahankar, thrives on the identity of being one who has been wronged. मेरे साथ आप ऐसे कैसे कर सकते हैं? Like that. Because it provides a sense of moral high ground. Okay, I know better than you. And also it builds a story in our head to blame everyone else for our unhappiness. So forgiveness is often resisted because it actually is like death of our false self. It's a very painful death to accept. And once the grudge is released, the ego loses the parts, various parts. If ego had a body, it loses its various parts to its constructed its identity. So, so we can see here that like there was one person who I know in Bangalore. He was cheated by his business partner, some startup company in technology, and his mind was spiraling into so much bitterness. आज तो मतलब जान तक लेने का plan. His mind was so when I met him, and he ultimately he took refuge of Bhagavad Gita. Let me see if that's sloka. I have it. Yes, I have it. Oh, fantastic. Very good. So, so ultimately he took refuge of this particular sloka. Let me read that. Matra sparshastu, this is chapter 2, sloka number 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shita ushna sukha dukhada, agam apaina anitasya, tam tatikshava bharata. Okay, anybody can volunteer to read the translation? Please raise your hand. Don't feel shy. Shatrughan Mataji.
O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O Sian of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
Fantastic. Thank you. So the biggest lesson out of this is Tan Tatikshava Bharata. Okay, something happened. Okay. So it says like Tan Tatikshava Bharata. So we sometimes have to, like it says, no, bite the bullet. Sometimes we have to, not every time we have to show that we are the winner. Sometimes we have to bite the bullet. We have to tolerate. It is easier said than done, but that is what Bhagavad Gita is mentioning here in this particular shloka, and that is the so two things are happening. One is, first, that we have to understand that we are not the proprietors. Karta hamiti mannate. And until the time things become in our favor, or going in our favor, or happening in our favor, we should be executing tang tatiksha bharata. We should just hang on there, right? Okay, cool. Now, naturally, then the question comes, okay, Prabhuji, you are saying all this, but is there a way that somebody who has done bad to me, will he ever get it back by natural justice? Is there something called natural justice? Just karma handles justice? Yes, karma does handle justice. And let us read where Krishna is mentioning it. So this is in chapter 18, sloka number 61. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me read the sloka. Ishvara sarvabhutanam idrishe arjuna tishati brahmama sarvabhutani jantrarudani mayaya. Excellent sloka. Okay, please read. Anybody volunteer? Yes, Shreya Mataji.
The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjun, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of a material energy.
So see, Krishna is clearly mentioning here that everything, the Supreme Lord, is situated in everyone's heart, and like in the aircraft, there is a what is it called, black box, right, which records everything. So similarly, Krishna is recording every action, and every action Krishna will balance all accounts through the law of karma without the need for any personal revenge. Very important sloka, please note it down. There is no need. We need to convince ourselves, reading this, that Krishna is mentioning there is no need. If some bad karma has been done to us by some person, there is no need for personal revenge. It will balance. The universal law, the law of karma, will balance it. And there is no need to settle, so-called like settling the score or anything like that. Because the offender who has done that offense on us is merely jantrani, as an instrument, acting. He is also, he is acting in a way which is directed by his actions. So one example comes to my mind. There was a teacher in Jaipur. There was a public I was reading some years back, who was publicly humiliated by some of the teacher's colleagues with some lies. And she approached one of our mentors in ISKCON, and that mentor was sharing with me that that she found peace by realizing that the universe did not need her help to punish those colleagues by plotting a revenge. There was some events which happened, and those events in some years, not immediately, actually this teachers. This is a very, very big proof of that. Next is a very important aspect in terms of okay, I want to practice forgiveness, but then there are different types of relationships, right? Does Krishna give some directions on that? Yes, he does. Let us look at that sloka. Sloka number, yes, this one. Chapter 11, sloka number 44. Okay, once again, I'll just read the sloka, recite the sloka for all of you. Krishna. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaya tam aham isham idyam priteva putrasya shakheva shakyu priyaya priyayashi deva shodhum. So what does it say? Let's see. Yes, can you anyone read the translation? Please raise your hand. Okay, anybody else who has not read? Ayan Mukherjee, Mataji, I know you are. Okay, Jai Shri Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, you want to read? Go ahead.
You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna. So, thank you. So, we can see here, Krishna is mentioning that that like a father, as a father tolerates his son, and as friends, we are also tolerating other friends, like a husband or a wife tolerates the husband likewise. So sometimes we have to tolerate uh, wrongdoings. It's not, it will not help us just pointing fingers at each other. So so what I mean by that is like so in a marriage, right, uh, it is better sometimes to just tolerate. Actually, there's a funny anecdote, and it actually happened. Like one devotee couple, they went to their guru and they said that we are fighting too much. So the guru told them that, okay, I want to meet uh, individually, two of you separately, and I want to give you a formula by which you can achieve peace. But for that, I will give the formula individually only. And then he spoke to each of those individuals in that relationship and just said like, okay, if you feel some he is doing or she is doing something wrong, then to you, and you need to speak, then I am giving you a formula. And he said, just put enough water in your mouth for and keep it in your mouth for some time, and that will improve. And that actually happened. Like they came back after a month, and uh, they were really happy. Similarly, like with being parents with children, right? uh, so like children often kind of have disappointments in terms of what they're hoping. And we see that Arjuna was very very much anguished by his elders, teachers, relatives who were standing on the opposite sides. His attachment to proper relationship actually paralyzed him. So Lord Krishna's response is instructive here. He does not dismiss the pain of conflict. He does not dismiss that. Yes, the pain is there. He just redirects Arjun to a higher understanding of his duty and self. So again, we need to judge ourselves when we are talking as parents to our children. Similarly, like in friendship as well, we need to judge ourselves. So there is actually a sloka in Bhagavad Gita, Pandita Samadarsina, in chapter 6, which mentions like in conflict situation, we should have compassion and try to understand why uh, let's say a friend is acting in a way that they are. And then so it is a way that Bhagavad Gita explains in this particular sloka. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. So we are trying to conclude here in terms of, okay, out of all this, what can I take as a shortcut? Is there a shortcut where I can forgive and I so Bhagavad Gita actually gives a shortcut too, and let's read the shortcut formula for that, which is in sloka number chapter 9, sloka 27. Okay, Krishna, where is it? Here. Okay, I'll read the sloka once more for all of you. Jat karoshi, jat ashnashi, jat juhoshi, dadashiyat, jat tapasyashi konteya, tat kurushva mat aparnam. Very, very popular sloka. Yes. Can any of you please volunteer to read this translation? Okay. Okay, Mataji, please go ahead. Okay, I saw one hand. Otherwise, any one of you can.
Whatever you বলবো প্রভুজি
Yes, go ahead.
whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
So here Krishna mentions that, okay, if you don't want to figure out how to solve this problem uh, in terms of uh, going and solving, trying all these techniques, so I'm giving you a simple formula. So you can see here, like because trying all of these techniques has its own risk in terms of how much willpower we have. If we meditate, definitely we get willpower. If we meditate, we definitely get willpower. But let's say I'm not practicing meditation, then my willpower is not that strong, right? So then he or Krishna gives a shortcut formula, which is this one in this sloka. So when personal willpower is insufficient to release a grudge that we are holding, so person can offer uh, resentment itself to divine. So they can say, or we can go and pray Krishna that, okay, Krishna, you only made arrangement so that I suffer for nothing from that person. Now you know whether I was right or that other person was right. So you take the credit or you take the offense. So the focus shifts from the offender's worthiness to making a forgiveness, and this is what is known as the bhakti shortcut, where the ego, where when our ego is unable to let go by its own, then in this bhakti shortcut, this shortcut formula that Krishna is giving, it's an act of surrender, saying that whatever is best for me, you place it, take a decision and act accordingly. And that's how we can grieve away our grudge, and with that we forgive. So there was one mother in one city. He had a very disrespectful son, and by meditating on the presence of divine, she eventually stopped seeing her son as her enemy, and instead she saw that this is a wounded person, because that person, beneath that arrogance, uh, is must be wounded. That's why that person is showing so much of arrogance. So then she showed a lot of compassion and let the grudge go, Lord. So we can see these are real um, applications of this formula that Krishna is sharing with us. With that, this is the mind map for today. Like every time we share one mind map in terms of how to practice, and that mind map is again nicely summarized in one sloka which Krishna gives. Um, okay, let us read that sloka. Let me bring it up 1 minute. This is from chapter 4, sloka number 36. Chapter 4, sloka 36 is up. Let's read that. Apichet papebhya sarveba papakritama sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarasyashi. Okay. Jai Shri Mataji, I'm calling out because last time you raised your hand. In case you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over ocean of miseries. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So see, so Krishna is mentioning here the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, ocean of misery. So what are the knowledge? That this is the disease, right? Not letting go is a disease. And why we don't let go? Because our false ego, we think that we are the proprietor, we are doing everything, we are controlling everything. But forgive, we have to understand that being strong doesn't mean that we can't forgive. Warrior is also like Arjuna, he also forgave. And then the application, how we need to apply. We need to see that, okay, that person is wounded, who is acting. And if we ever doubt, yes, trusting that karma, we don't have to make our own plan to harm that person. If that person has really done some harm to us, the karma will catch up with that person someday. It is definitely going to catch up. Krishna has mentioned that's the law of karma. And the ultimate tool, if we can't do all of these things, 5 things, then just mention that, okay, Krishna, I am surrendering to you. And with this surrender, you take the resentment, the grudge, because when I give everything. Even my grudge also I'm giving. You please take that and give me relief. Take my burden off. So with that, we come to the end of today's session, and we'll end with Vaishnav Pranam. Panchakalpataro Vaishya Kripa Sindhu Eva Shakti Danang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namah. Thank you very much. Haribol. I'll put the